everyone, welcome to my channel and Happy New Year. My name is Jessica and I'm a reseller and photographer. Today I'm going to be reflecting on 2020, everything I've learned, and I'm also going to be reflecting on the past 9 years that I've been reselling. I also want to go over my goals for 2021 and everything that I'm looking forward to. I needed to take a few weeks off of YouTube just to catch up on other tasks like listing, and I don't know what else I've been doing. I think I've also been procrastinating this video a little bit because it does require me to be a little vulnerable and talk about the past. She literally needs in my lap every time I hit record. She never does this. So let's start at the very beginning. Picture me, a young 15-year-old girl on the internet. The internet was like very fresh. If anyone remembers LiveJournal, I was on LiveJournal. I was illegally downloading music. I was really into female-fronted bands because in the 90s, I was super into like Alanis Morissette, and then that morphed into like punk rock girls. So I started really getting into punk music, and I joined a LiveJournal group that was for people that liked like late 70s, early 80s punk music. And we would trade clothing on, we would like ship off of LiveJournal. So that was before you could really buy skinny jeans anywhere. The only place you could really get them was from lip service. And basically you had to make your own. You would like have the jeans flare out a little bit, and then you would sew down into the seam, and then you would snip the insides. At least that's what I did. Very crafty. But yeah, we would trade clothing and sell patches and crap to each other. So that was my first entry into reselling. Then moving on to 2006 or 2005 still, I started working at Goodwill. I was the person in the back that went through all this stuff, priced hard goods. I didn't do the clothing. But they gave me a general knowledge of what things are worth, things that were made in the United States were vintage, things along those lines. And it was the most fun job ever. I didn't have really interest in reselling the items, or I think I would have drove myself nuts because you can't really, they have rules for the employees so that they can't buy up everything. So but just, I love the process of cleaning something up and then sending it out for people to buy. So fast forward to 2012, is it 2012? I don't know, but I was in college. I actually know the exact day that I started reselling because my godson was born that day. So my best friend had a long delivery, and my ex-boyfriend was in the waiting room, and he was like looking up stuff online to sell that he just had around the house. So we both started selling, well, let me go back. I think he sold a t-shirt and it sold for a lot of money. So we were like, all right, well, let's go to Goodwill and get t-shirts for $2. And if we sell them for $12, that's a $10 profit. Do that 10 times, that's $100. So that was our business model. And we did that for years. That morphed into me selling basically anything I could find at Goodwill. hard goods, women's clothing. And I did that all through college, working full time. I worked as a dispatcher for a limousine company for my parents. While I was working, I could list, and there was a Goodwill right across the street. So I would leave for work, stop at Goodwill real quick, go to work, you know, get everything set up for the day, do my actual job. Then when I had downtime, I would list stuff on eBay. That led me to about $80,000 so far. Well, a little more than 80,000 over the years. My neighbor's blowing leaves, so hopefully you can't hear that too much, but I wanted to show my old store before I started on Poshmark and rebranded. One of my most exciting finds, I think, was this Prada skirt. It has snakeskin trim. And I also found this YSL blazer that sold for a lot. I love the quality of the photography from the old iPhone. And it's really cool for, what, that's not fur, feather trim dress. It was vintage. I was super excited to find this Oro Gold cosmetic peeling mask, because I think I found like 3 or 4 and they all sold for over $50, which that's like no big deal these days, but back then I was like in college. I was really excited. And I wanted to show this picture because I just think it's funny how excited I was getting over H&M. Now I won't even touch it. And then I found this knot by Marchesa Bateau from Neiman Marcus. That was a fun find. And I almost still kind of regret selling these because they're so cool, but it's kitchen canisters by Joel Designs. Those were fun. This was one of my first big sales. It was snakeskin white heels by Brian Atwood. And I think those sold for like $120, I think. And yeah, that's kind of what I was doing back then in the 2012, 2014 era. So fast forward to January 2020, eBay had limited my listings because I had lost a few more items than I should have. My inventory system was like just all short sleeve shirts, all long sleeve shirts, and then things were selling that I didn't have anymore, and that's what happened. So they punished me. And I just kind of took a break because I had about 400 listings up. I would sell one every now and then. I wasn't getting more items because I couldn't list them. So then I started looking into other platforms to list my items because I thought I was done with eBay. Somehow I came across Empty Hanger on YouTube, and I basically binge watched all of her content. I was like, wow, she has a system down. And so I started listing on Poshmark, and I relisted all my eBay on Poshmark so I could properly inventory everything. I did put everything in a bag with a sticker and a bin number so that I wouldn't have the same problems as I had on eBay. And then that led me to hit $100,000 in sales over the last 9 years. So I don't know, I thought that was pretty exciting because over that time I had gotten my bachelor's degree. I was working a pretty stressful job and traveling like a lot, almost every weekend. So I thought that was pretty cool for, you know, a college student, and then going into my 30s, trying to find my footing with graduating college, being a freelance photographer, and having this extra supplemental income. After I listed everything on Poshmark, then I started cross-listing everything on Vendoo. So I did basically any platform you can think of, because I also tried out List Perfectly for a while. I did Tradesy, Mercari, eBay, Poshmark, Kidizen, Depop, Facebook Marketplace, Grailed. Am I missing anything? ThreadUp. I mean, there's almost 10 streams of income alone. So in 2021, I plan to kind of fine tune that and start sending in stuff to the RealReal. I have my meeting with the person tomorrow, which we're FaceTiming, so that's really cool. I just don't know if I should pull stuff out of my inventory to show her. I don't know. Well, maybe I can just do pictures, but I'll get into that goals for 2021 in a minute. So we ended on January 2020. Then in a few months, we all know coronavirus hit. I was already listing almost every night. Like, I listed probably 800 items in a month. I'm not even joking. Like, I was determined to get my Poshmark up and running. But when coronavirus happened, it was a really emotional time. I was working for my parents. They were unsure about the future of the company. And, like, you know, I'm not going to get really into that too much because that's their business. But I was laid off. I started doing Poshmark, and I started why is this so hard to talk about? And I started delivering groceries for Shipt. I was just like, I think my fight or flight reaction just kicked in, and I was like panicking that I wouldn't have enough money. So I just got to work. I mean, I really enjoyed delivering groceries because it was a lot of older people, a lot of people with kids. We were in lockdown, so it was essential workers only. And I made some good money, and I was laid off, but I was surviving. So I am really proud of myself the way that I've handled this year. I think that I've really grown a lot, and I've grown into myself. I really think that even if you're in a bad spot in life, it's only the jumping off point into the next thing. You're being prepared for what's to come. I cannot talk about uncomfortable stuff. I think at the beginning of the pandemic, I was pretty scared. I remember even just going into the grocery store and seeing everything gone. I was like, wow, this is like nothing I've ever experienced in my lifetime. Obviously, I mean, it's brand new for all of us. I'm excited for what the future is going to look like in terms of creating more of a work-life balance. People really don't have to be going into the office as much. And I think we're all kind of resetting our priorities. A lot of people might be at a job that they've been wanting to leave, and now we've had this whole year to really have more free time to start working on things that we've always wanted to do, even if that means just finishing the house or decorating or cleaning out the basement, whatever. We've had more time to reflect on things. Things I'm also grateful for besides Poshmark is YouTube. I really started this wanting just to make friends and meet other people that were resellers. It's been really fun getting to know new people. Hope and I went to the bins a few times. I met the bin pickers, and I was at the salon, I think it was in May, and my friend that does my hair, I was talking to her about what I was working on, and I told her about reselling, and she's like, oh, Emily, she resells too. And I've known Emily for a long time. And so it was fun to I went and looked at her Instagram, and I was like, wow, we're like kind of doing the same thing. So we've been going to the bins almost once a week lately. And the bins is a lot more fun when you have a person there with you, because I don't know, it's a little bit tedious. It's kind of physical, and there's kind of a little bit of waiting time, and it's kind of fun to just show each other what you found. So check them out. Emily is Closet Space Invader. Hope is Racks to Riches, and the bin pickers are bin pickers on YouTube. Oh, my goals for 2021. Basically continue growing. I want to continue growing my YouTube channel. I want to find a groove with scheduling myself, because I think even the last couple weeks I've just been overwhelmed with how many tasks I have between photography and reselling, and then all the tasks within reselling, shipping, listing, sourcing. It's hard to schedule when you don't really know how long things are gonna take. Like today I shipped 2 items, but I couldn't find something, so it took me 2 hours. Anyway, I saw a girl on TikTok, and she broke down how to calculate how many items you need to list per month according to how much you want to make per month. So I would like to list I would like to list 342 items per month at minimum. I'd like to be better at inventorying my new items so that I have a better idea of what things really cost, because now I just have a general idea that everything is basically $4.50. But since I'm going to the bins more, things are going to be costing below $1 around. That is everything. My life story. Let me know if you have any scheduling tips. I just got my new planner at Aldi, by the way. It's really cute. I put stickers on it. 2021. And I'll show you what it looks like. There's the planner, and then it has the individual week, and then it has a notepad on the back, so that's cool. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. I hope you guys have a wonderful 2021.